Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Yes, sir. Report has it that Ebony collapses into Irunu Pemo before the great lion, begging for mercy as elders watch in fear. Now, this other ritual we are hearing that in the palace of the Lion of Odua, it is called Iruno Pimo. I may not be pronouncing it well, but my darling Dela writes, they understand that I have these issues with pronunciation. Please forgive me, okay? You can help me also in the comment section. They said there is this ritual that when situation gets that desperate, a royal wife can, also invoke that, or maybe, apply that, okay, depending on the situation. And they said that ritual is also called Irino Pemu, to beg your husband in a way that he understands that you are submitting completely. But my problem with Ebony's kind of submission is, even in that submission, you are still fighting. The thing is that people do not understand that you cannot just continue to fight and fight and fight. You're submitting, you're doing ritual, you're calling people to come and beg, and you are still fighting. Basically, you see, the problem is that Ebony is justifying her act because she feels like she is fighting for a love that might never even ever be there for her, okay? That love that will never be for her, okay? But the thing is that the fact that what you are fighting for is for love does not, mean that you are not being disrespectful. The thing is that this man is king. As you continue to fight him every day, you are showing a gross level of disrespect towards his, orders, okay? There's this Yoruba adage that says, when a stubborn goat runs and bangs its head on the rock, it is not the rock that bleeds, it is the goat, okay? This captures the reality of desperation, of reaching a point where pride, dignity, and even reputation are thrown aside because the person knows they have come face to face with a power that cannot be bent. Only appeal to. This is exactly what, played out the moment Ebony collapsed into Iru no Pemi before the great lion, as the elders sat in silence and they were watching. And in fact, everybody is confused because they don't know. It looks like Ebony is this one that you cannot treat. Whatever the problem is, they say when the gods wants to buy you, will make you craze first. This is what it is, because you're begging, you're calling people, you're entering, you're going into Iruno Pemi, but it is the same you, Ebony, that is causing all the problem. Just yesterday, you were busy raining, in fact, curses or percussions on Adetutu, saying Adetutu is using jazz on, as in is the jazz they are using on the Lion of Odua. That the jewel brought Adetutu to use that jazz because Adetutu is actually very strong in what Adetutu is not this empty one that is carrying calabash up and down, and you think that there's something inside the calabash, meanwhile there's nothing, it's only water that is there, like Ebony has been carrying. Yes, but Adetutu right now is this one that is carrying calabash and there's actually something inside the calabash. Now, to understand why this act shocked everyone present, you have to know what Iruno Pemi is in Yoruba tradition, in the royal tradition, okay? Right there in, the royal household, okay? It is deep spiritual weight and why it is reserved only for desperate situation. They said Iruno Pemi is not just ordinary begging. It is not mere kneeling or crying. It is a ritual act of total surrender and ancient Yoruba ways of saying, my life is now in your hands. If you buy me, I will not resist. If you spare me, I will live in gratitude. It comes from the root word, ronu, okay, meaning deep thought or reflection, and, pemi, meaning sealing or binding. When someone goes into Iruno Pemi, they are literally declaring, I have thought deeply, I have nothing left, and I bind myself to your mercy. They said this is what it is. They say yes, in their royal tradition, they have that for a wife. It's when you know, our kind, we talk carelessly about this thing, their union and all of that. It is deeper than you can ever imagine. Remember those days where we continue to think that they can just get up like this and pack the women and throw them away, and people just be making stories up and down. It is not easy. I came on this blog and I told you, I said, throwing these women away the way that we are thinking is going to be, it's not a Tea Party affair. It comes with a lot of ritual and all of that, because that is a traditional community, right? Dela, right? It is a traditional community. And you know, they don't just get up and do things. Everything that they do has to be within the confines of what is allowed in their tradition. And that is why you see it is not easy to just get up and begin to make decisions. Tell this wife to pack and all of that. We had thought that it was going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And then again, let me clarify something too. One of our beautiful sisters wrote something the other day, said, Delaram, I have a problem with you saying that the lion cannot divorce his women. No, it is not like he cannot divorce, but he cannot. From the laws that we are getting right now, maybe they were updated laws, or I don't know. It is not easy for him to initiate that divorce. Please, maybe you should also ask Mommy Abe, and she can also explain that to you. Right now, it's not easy for him to get up and initiate a divorce. Certain things must happen, and apparently with the things that have happened, it's not even enough, okay? He has to go through due processes, okay, to be able to do this thing. And one of them is going to be this Ituwa said that they want to, that is the last resort now before he can, as in that is the initiation. If that goes through, then it can work. But for him to get up and say he is initiating a divorce, it is not easy. Oh. It is not easy. Maybe other kings can, but him himself is not easy. Now, if you want to look at it from the very beginning, you remember that Wuro left by herself. And when our Joel left, she was the one who left. He is not initiating them. If you initiate, if he feels like it's okay, or if maybe so much pressure is given, he might go ahead and do the cleansing like he did for Wuro. But to say that he can initiate, it does not happen. Like, it's not something that is that easy. There are a lot of, it's a very serious process for him to initiate, but that is not what we are talking about today. And for the women too, there are so many traditional rituals that you can go into if situation gets really bad, like this Iruno Pimi, okay? Maybe I'm trying. I don't know. It's something that a woman can also do, okay? It's saying I am, you know, at your mercy right now. So traditionally, it is performed in very specific ways. The person throws themselves to the ground, chest flat on the head, face pressed into doors, sometimes stretching out their arms like someone lying before a shrine. In some cases, they grip the ankle or feet of the person they are appealing to, refusing to let go until they are hurt. In Yoruba culture, the ground itself is sacred, ile, okay? The earth that bears witness. So when you press your body to the ground before another person, you are saying, let the earth judge me if I rise without your forgiveness or mercy. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Delaram. I bring you fresh and spicy just from the sources, still on the royals. How are you guys doing? Delarites, I love you guys. Delarites, my Delarites, my Delarites, my own people. Delarites, my Delarites, my Delarites, my super people. Esheo, Adukpeo, my people appreciate you guys so much. They said, most times, the woman will come before you, and not in private. Not in private. This thing is done in public. It's done before the eyes. Those eyes that, you know, she disrespected you before. She will come there. She will remove her twinklet, her earring, her everything before them. Put them on the floor as if they mean nothing, and then she will bow. They will do some rituals and all of that. It's up to the person to decide that they want to forgive you or not. The traditional importance of Irino Pemi lies three in three major areas. First, it is a binding covenant of mercy. Once mercy is given, it cannot be withdrawn without consequence. Second, without consequences, sorry. Secondly, it is a declaration of powerlessness. The one who does it is openly saying, I am finished if you do not save me. And third, it is a last resort act. Okay, Yoruba people believe that anyone who collapses into Irunopemi, as in the royal family, is making their final plea before they accept by disgrace or destruction. Now, why Ebony did this is clear. She had been, cornered. Her family had begged. The elders had won. Olori Ibi. I don't know how to pronounce this, because they said Olori is different from Olori Ibi. Olori Ibi is in Magadu. Sorry, there's something they call. Now, they said that there is an Olori Ebi. Olori Ebi. Olori Ebi is usually the head, the eldest man in a royal dynasty, the one whose voice has authority, so much authority, right? They also call them Olori Ebi. I don't know if it is Olori or Oluri. Maybe Oluri Ebi, I don't know. But of course, I am not right. I do know that I may not be right. Please, you can correct us in the comment section like I have been saying. But, the correction I've been saying on the comment section is confusing. I don't even know what to say again. Okay. So they said the Oluri Ebi had spoken against her. The great lion himself had already shown signs of, ejection. Ebony, of course, her word alone could no longer hold weight. Her tears had been dismissed. Her pride has been shattered. So she chose the last and most desperate weapon available in the royal tradition, which happens to be Irunopemi. Now, the implications are very serious for Ebony. If the great lion accepts her Irunopemi, she may be restored, but only under strict conditions. She will never again be able to raise her head with the same boldness. In the royal thought, once you collapse into Irunopemi, you have admitted total guilt, shame, and defeat. Even if you are forgiven, everyone remembers you as one who surrendered completely. It leaves a permanent mark, okay? Now, they say for the great lion, accepting or, ejecting the act has spiritual weight. If he accepts, he must live with the consequences of binding himself to a person who may or may not deserve mercy. If he rejects, he risks being judged as a heartless king before the gods and before history. This is why, Yoruba kings tread carefully when people perform Irunopemi before them. It is not just a woman's tears that they are looking at. It is a cosmic test of justice. For the elders watching Ebony collapse like this is both pitiful and frightening. Pitiful because a woman of her standing has fallen so low, abandoning dignity before everyone. Frightening, because they know the weight it places on the king's conscience. In Yoruba gathering, elders often say a person who goes into Irunopemi has placed his or her blood in your palm. If it spills, your hand will never be clean. It's a whole lot. So this thing is getting deeper and deeper by the day. And me as a person, I feel like it is something that you as a person has got control over. You just have to humble yourself. I don't know why this is so difficult to ask, because you cannot be begging for forgiveness. You are attacking this and attacking that. You are still, making it look as if it's every other person's fault except you, and all of that. Then you do 1 minute, the next minute you're begging for forgiveness. You do. In fact, I feel like this has got to do with a mental issue right now, because it is really, really tough. Now, if this information is correct, this is what is going on. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.